Hi there, we're going to do chapter 32. Will Maeve's boyfriend Rue remember when he comes back? That's my question before I start this. I don't know whether he's coming back in this chapter and what is going to happen, obviously. It is, anyway, one of the problems they've discovered that what the well is all about and what things are happening to them. And they're all back on the same page, and Maeve has her talents or gifts back. Maeve's psychic again. Fiona bursts back into the kitchen to announce it. She's gone and shagged herself psychic. I like the way she's put that. Fiona, well, you have. Manon is still writing on a cereal cardboard. And Nuella has taken down a wicker basket full of jars from the top of her cupboards. They both stop what they are doing and look at us. Aaron is nowhere to be seen. Is this true, Maeve? I think so, I say, and I look at Nuella and receive 3 thoughts at once, each whacked on top of each other. Of course, if magic loves sex, then 2 witches having sex was going to do something to her. And God, how did I end up in a world of teenagers' sex lives? And it's bad that I'm here for Maeve and I wasn't there for Manny. Nuella gazes back at me, shocked and flustered, like she could feel the intrusion into her brain. And that is spelled wrong again, intrusion into her brain. Well, she says, ruffling herself like a hen. Well, that's good. Very good, Manon says. Power is everything right now. Read my mind and I will cut your throat. Understood, I say, wondering if I even had a choice in reading Manon's mind or not. Where's Aaron? He's on the back steps, Nuella says, still examining the jars. I think he's bearing down on him. I think it is bearing down on him, realizing the damage he's done. Call him in, Lily, Manon says, still not looking up from her writing. Lily heads out the back door. Fiona Nuella calls, chop, chop, chop up this. Okay. Nuella hands her a chopping board. A huge root that I'm not able to identify and a sharp knife. I winch when I see Fiona take the knife, her gaze lingering on it, a flush rising to her cheeks. Maeve, Nuella touches me on the shoulder. Drink this. She hands me a steaming cup of tea. I shudder. The idea of tea is a little revolting to me now. What is it? I asked suspiciously, clearly carrying some residual suspicion about tea of all kinds. Corn silk tea. It will help release the bind. I think it's easying already, but it needs to be gone by the time you leave. Aaron is going to stay here tonight. Here? Fiona and I exclaimed. Well, I can't send him back to the hostel. He's too exposed, remember, Maeve? He was the one who attacked Miss Banbury. They don't know it was him, though. They didn't see him. True, she says, but I would rather not risk it. I want to keep an eye on him. Oh, I had not thought of this. Apparently you could fill a barn with the things I have not thought of. Aaron and Lily appear in the doorway. Aaron looking slightly green from this angle, with both their blonde hair shining under the patio light. They look more like siblings than Rue and Lily ever did. Rue! Sorry, I don't understand this. So I don't know whether Rue's come back. Hold on. More than Rue and Lily ever did. Rue, I check my phone. There's one message from him, and I feel a surge of hope when I see it, hoping that intimacy will have done for his magic what it has done for mine. Hey, just checking you are okay at the venue now. Let me know if you want to talk about last night. I know it was sooner than we planned, but I love you and can't wait to see you when I get back. Wow, kiss, kiss, kiss. I sigh. It's a completely decent message, the message any normal romantic partner should send. But I don't have a normal romantic partner. I have a magic one, only he doesn't seem to know that. I remember what Lily said about having to forget things to let the new people in. I look at Aaron, who is now in the process of grinding something for Nuella. No, don't smash, she instructs, her hand on his shoulder, trying to guide the movement of the pestle. Grind. Aaron is willfully forgetting part of himself to fit with us. He is trying to stuff 20 years of strict Christian teaching to the bottom of himself, and it's starting to work. That's what's so frightening about Aaron's supposed change of heart. If someone like that can change their heart entirely, then surely someone like Rue can too. Except Rue is changing in the wrong direction. Or maybe it's the right one. Maybe Rue is better off this way. I close my eyes, try to blink away the pain of it. Not Rue. I remember his hands on my body last night, his palms between my thighs, his curly hair resting on my bare chest. Not Rue. The knotted necklace on the floor. Not Rue. I open my eyes and find that Aaron is staring at me, his expression drawn. He has stopped grinding. Maeve, Nuella snaps, drink your tea. I drink the steaming mug of corn silk quickly and wonder if the bind means that Aaron can feel what I'm feeling. I'm beginning to realize why Manon was so careful when she created this binding spell. Manon has stopped writing and her gaze is firmly on me, her eyes intense and feline, her irises golden. Hello, I say, nervously. She merely tilts her head. Yes, she says. Thoughtfully, she looks at her cardboard workings again, smothering her mouth with her hand. Yes, she repeats. Manon stands up and paces the small area of the kitchen that doesn't have people in it. The job we must do, she begins, is twofold. Everyone drops what they are doing and listens. First of all, we must seal the well from being drained and prevent it from being tampered with any further. For this, we need to send back the magic that was stolen from it. There must be no deficit. I love the way she says deficit. Fiona thinks, why does that word sound so good in French accent? I nod. If there's one thing I've learned about magic, it's that it works more like a bank than a bank does. If the ledger is even a little unbalanced, the system goes out of control. We must send stolen magic back through the channel it came. Manon continues. So, me. Aren't I the channel? Yes, through you, Maeve. After that, we can seal the well, but Miss Banbury must be willing to give it back. She took the magic through you. Now you must take it through her and put it back where it belongs. Aaron snorts. No one at the children gives anything back, he says. They will, Nuala says, as if grasping Manon's idea before she articulated it. Or at least she will. Manon nods, a glimmer of excitement coming into her golden eyes. Maeve, it's you who gave me this idea. I always thought that the power from drinking binds was an unfortunate side effect, but I see now that it has untapped potential. We must create a new bind, a more powerful one, and whoever drinks it will be able to control her and her magic, she says. We bind her and then we trick her into a sealing spell. Nuala's eyebrows shoot up on the word trick. I don't see how that would work, Aaron frowns. The bind you guys gave me, but that was a sweet bind. We did it softly. A more powerful bind will do more powerful things. Who drinks the bind through? Who drinks the bind then? I will, Manon says smoothly. Manny, Nuala is concerned. Can't we just bind the woman and be done with it? I don't want you drinking something like that. Manon shakes her head. The magic must be returned, and she will never give it up unwillingly. I am the only one powerful enough. She pauses, breathes in deeply, preparing herself for something. I must do it. God, you're cool, Fiona says, and then looks around like someone else said it. Manon doesn't even register the statement. I'll need something of hers. Teeth, hair. You know, she says, thoughtfully, Maeve, you know this woman the best. How can we do this? I think about it. Her house, I say slowly. We can go to her house. You know where she lives? Fiona says, shocked. I went there a few Saturdays ago. The memory feels hazy to me, like a fever dream. She lives in a rented cottage at the back of one of the big houses near the river. Nuala looks at me sharply. Could you find it again? I shrugged. Sure, on a Saturday. Fiona continues, still alarmed. Why? I feel so unbelievably stupid to have played into her hands so easily. I remember taking my shoes off, feeling the velvet grass underneath my feet, falling asleep in a garden chair. A queasy feeling comes over me. The nude sketch in the frame that I realized was her after I looked at it for a fraction too long. She was trying to get me to trust her. I finished weakly. It worked. Everyone in the car, Nuala says, and we follow her into the driveway and make our way across town to where Miss Banbury lives. I think this is going to be a long chapter, darlings, so I'm just going to check it. Yes, it's going to be a long chapter, so I'll most probably have to do this in 2 portions, or perhaps 3. So I will go on to the second half in a minute. Take care. Bye-bye. Part 2 of chapter 32. It doesn't take long to drive across town, although with the car so cramped it's not exactly comfortable. Aaron sits in the front seat with Nuala, and I'm annoyed again at men for having the de facto shotgun by virtue of their long legs. Fiona is perched on my lap, Lily in the middle, and Manon on the other side. The guards better not be out, Nuella says, checking her mirrors. I can't afford to have any more points on my license. Manon snorts. Yes, I know, Manny, but even so. Fiona, her head touching the roof of the car, spies Manon's mischievous expression from a vantage point. She can see everyone in the car and is taking in the vibe forensically. Okay, she says, I've been patient enough. Someone tell me what the hell is going on. What do you mean, Fiona? Nuella says coldly. I mean, she replies, not even bothering to hide her frustration. Why is it funny to Manon that we might get caught by the guards? What the guards, for those people that don't know, is the police in Ireland, as this takes place in Ireland. What's the frickin' subtext here, lads? I feel like I'm watching a play and I missed the first act. There's silence, but Fiona refuses to be shamed. Okay, well, anyone who is sick of all the weird mother-daughter mysteries, please raise your hand. Aaron raises his hand. Lily raises her hand slowly. I also raise my hand. Manon, for the first time since I met her, starts to laugh. Her laugh is one of the most unusually out-of-character laughs I've ever heard. A high inward giggle, like a dolphin, somersaulting backwards. We all turn to look at her. Sorry, she says, still laughing. My laugh is terrible. It's not terrible, Fiona says. Nuella sighs. The reason Manny doesn't care about the Guardia, she says, is that she can trick the law in most cases anyway. What? Manon isn't Nuella begins, then she stops, hesitates. Manon is special, she clarifies. I'm not ashamed. Manon snaps at her mother. Then she levels her gaze, steely, at the headrest. My name is Manon Renoir, she says. My family are the Renard trickster gods. There is absolute silence in the car while each of us tries to grasp even a tiny piece of what this means. Trickster gods, Fiona repeats. Trickster gods, I repeat with emphasis. You are a god, Aaron says, looking like someone just spat in his chips. Like Greek gods, Lily offers. Not quite so powerful, Manon says modestly, but we are very remote descendants. Trickster gods are one of the last few god lineages left in the modern world, Nuella says self-consciously, as we all try to imagine our much older friend having sex with a literal god. They have quite a mild power, but it's very hardy. Survives through, she pauses awkwardly, mixed bloodlines. As usually, Lily has almost no problem accepting this fact, as the rest of us continue gulping in shock. So what can a trickster god do? She asks, fascinated. Well, Lily, they can imitate for a short time, Nuella says. They can make money disappear and reappear. They can turn your tea into a mild potion, not something that will kill you, but something that will have you on the toilet for hours. They can do, well, lots of silly things, really. We trick, Manon responds, a glamour of pride in her voice. To humble people when they become too close to material things or social constructs. Social constructs, I asked, bewildered. Like monogamy? like monogamy. An old trickster god would lure a new bride away from her husband to show them the silliness of trying to keep yourself to one person. That is so French, Fiona says, in amazement, while Nuella coughs loudly. Manon shrugs. We exist to remind people not to take life too seriously. We each share a confused look, wondering how this applies to Manon, an extremely serious person, as if trying to prove us wrong. Manon rolls down the window, takes her chewing gum out of her mouth and balls it in her fingers. I became a scholar, she says, throwing the gum out because I didn't want to spend my life on the Riviera making children drop their ice cream cones. Fiona nods. Like me, she says, seemingly without even meaning to. Manon cocks her head confused. Fiona flushes. Well, my gift is healing people. And my family is full of healers. Well, nurses, doctors, but I want to be an actor. It's all I've ever wanted. So we both have things that are the opposite of life we want. Manon laughs, rolling the window back up. Yes, maybe we are the same. It takes me a minute to find the house, not because I can't remember where it is, but because there are no lights on. It's so dark now that the house is almost invisible. You are sure this is it? Nuella says to me, craning her head turning her head around, in other words. Yes, I say uncertainly. There are no cars. Aaron says, yep, I know. Are you sure? Yes, I snapped. No lights, no cars. What happened to the busy little family I saw that Saturday morning? Look, Lily says, it's for sale. And she's right. There's an estate agent sign barely visible, threatening to sink into a hedge. It doesn't look like anyone lives here, Maeve. She lives around the back, I replied. Maybe they are gone. But Aaron suddenly gets out, closing the door softly behind him. A ding-ding-ding starts politely chirping. The car trying to remind us she's still open. She walks up to the house, half disappearing into the shadows. After a few seconds of us watching in silence, Manon gets out too and walks into the night. Should we all get out? I say. I'm getting out, says Lily, unbuckling her belt. It might not be safe, but at that moment, Aaron and Manon get back into the car, and the ding-ding ceases. It's when you open the door, the alarm goes off, and that the door is open or the lights are on. That's the ding-ding. It's hot-spotted, Aaron says. There's been some magic done to that house, and recently. I think what you saw, Maeve, Manon murmurs, was a glamour, a trick. People keep using the word with me. I say, remembering Dory at the hotel. And I feel like I don't know what it means. Like a temporary illusion, Aaron says. Like when you were Mary Beth, a glamour. I repeated. That family was a glamour, so Heather was never actually here. No, she would have been here, just a lot of the things surrounding her were fake. A lot of things, or everything. I attempt to clarify. Manon thinks about it. A lot of things. I would have been too difficult for them to glamour everything. We sit in silence for a second, not sure what to do next. Well, I say, surely if we go to the back, the garden, the garden, where her house was, maybe she didn't live there, but something of hers might be. This may be a trap also, Manon says. Perhaps they would like us to go back there. Oh, let's just go. This is really written really weird, Lily says impatiently and ready to take her belt off again. Hang on, Manon says. She puts her hand on Lily's sleeve, and as she does, her own sleeve begins to turn sleeve begins to turn to cobalt blue of Lily's jumper. Slowly, the whole arm starts to change, and the colour runs out of Manon's eyes, like the irises have been bleached. A swirl of blue starts to spin and settle like a pipette in ink has been released into the back of her head. The alteration is so rapid that it's hard to keep up with what is changing and when. Skin lightens and Manon's curvier frame flattens slightly within a few seconds. I am sitting next to two lilies. So she's a shapeshifter, I think. Jesus, Fiona breathes. You weren't kidding. They will be focused on Lily, Manon says. She is the one they are most afraid of, and who they have not latched on to yet. I will walk down with Maeve, and Lily, you will follow close behind, ready to shock if anyone comes near us. What about the rest of us? Fiona asks. Stay here. What? You are still weak, Fiona. You have been drained, too. We need to keep you safe. Fiona shifts in her seat, sounding miffed. Okay, we make our way down. Me and the decoy Lily. The real Lily follows quietly behind. It's so strange, walking with Manon and Lily after a lifetime of walking places with the real one. Manon takes long, light strides, her chin pointed up, her shoulders square like a dancer's. Lily has a kind of heavier walk, throwing her weight into each step with hunched shoulders. It's funny how they are a myriad of things that make someone themselves other than how they look or talk. Maeve, Manon says, as we walk down the dark driveway. Her voice is Lily's Irish accent, but her cadence is all Manon. How is it that you see people's minds? I talk haltingly about the lights. I never do a good job of explaining it, but Manon seems to grasp a quick I see. Now, when you enter into this process stage, when you can see the lights, how about the lights of others, of creatures, trees, lives you cannot see, but know are there? They show up too, I reply, thinking of the twinkling blinks and blips of light I used to see at the tennis courts, the lights of the birds and the bugs and the rabbits. What about if there was someone in hiding down there? Could you see your lights like, I don't know, a radar? For example, you cannot see Lily right now, but you can feel her light. I close my eyes, center myself. Yes, I reply, seeing Lily's cerulean glimmer. What about someone you don't know? Perhaps someone from... I nod, knowing exactly what she means. I try to push my power outward. The green light within me spreading out and out, tickling the trees and the night air. I feel a big, fat, joyful hunger in my chest, and I can't believe how much I missed my magic, missed training it and challenging it. A little shoot of hope springs up. If this is what sex has done for me, maybe it has done something amazing for Rue too. Maybe he's on his way home right now. His senses sharpened. I see 1,000 glimmers, creatures, and the beating hearts of trees, but I'm so focused on where I'm stepping that I can't keep the lights straight in my head. Manon seems to know instinctively what I'm struggling with. Hold my hand, I will guide you, she says. First tell me where we are going. We are at the front of the house now, and I look for the side gate. There, I say, we have to go through. There, close your eyes, focus on your vision. I feel leaves tingling my face as we push through the side entrance, trip over uneven paving stones, and I scrape my sleeve against the brick wall. All with my eyes closed, my palms sweating terribly in Manon's imitation of Lily's hand. Look for them, she instructs firmly. This is a narrow passage. If they are on the other side, we do not want to be surprised. I see blips and blips only. No, nothing on the other side. Okay. Manon leads me through, and I open my eyes to see the moon lighting up the long grass and glimmering of the water of the Beg River. The little echo cottage with the solar panel roof is gone. Instead, there is a potting shed, a little run down and just near the edge of the water. I'm dazzled by the erasure of Miss Banbury. Erasure. So I don't know what that is. That's a wrong. It seems that this book is full of mistakes. Okay, well, the era, I take it that is like the image of Miss Banbury's beautiful home. None of it was real, I say, the cold air sticking in my throat. None of it was, Manon says gently, gentler than I've ever heard her. This part can be hard. I know, I believe that she knows. I hear Lily's faint steps trailing quietly behind us. Feel her blue light edging closer. She knows instinctively to keep back. A train of her thought steams through my mind. I'm like an assassin, she thinks, without meaning to. I nod, and I can feel the message carrying itself back along the line. Yes, a silence. Is this you? Yes, it's Maeve. How are you? I don't know. The thrill of it, the sensation of my gift being a phone call and not just a radio, lights me up from within. My hair seems to lift away from my scalp, springing slightly with joy. Can I do this with everyone now, or just Lily? Miss Banbury might not have been real, but this is. I am. We stand in front of the shed that was briefly a cottage. I once took my shoes off in it. Even if it was fake, I say, she was still there. Surely there's something. Manon nods and slides open the dead bolt on the shed door. Inside there is a selection of long abandoned tools, a rusty shovel and a mouldy bag of pot compost It smells of earth and damp and the heavy latex of gardening gloves. It smells how all sheds smell. I turn my phone light on to look around and manage to find the one thing that I do recognize from Heather's home. The striped loungers are bunched up at the back of the shed, mildewing. Here, I say, pulling them out. We sat on these. These were here before. Manon's eyes then suspiciously with her phone light. Are you sure she used these? We inspected the sun loungers closer, turning each one over and scanning it with our phones like a black light. Ah, Manon says, zeroing in on a long golden strand. Is this her? She holds it up to the light. Yes, I say. One strand, she tuts. Wow. One strand is not much good. Do you have a knife? No, keys. I had my house keys, and she hacks away at the fabric, tearing strips off as carefully as she can. Cushion wadding starts to burst through and fall onto the floor. As she cuts, two grey lights start to enter the corner of my conscious. They are small and pearly like buttons on a Victorian sleeve, and they are coming closer, moving quickly. Manon, I whisper. She stops immediately, and she reflects like a cat. Qu'est-ce? That's French. What's the matter? What is? So she's asking Maeve, what is wrong? I think someone. Where? I burrow down into the light, frightening and new to the idea of using my magic as a radar. They, I whisper, they are coming, east and west, from the gardens. There are no windows in the shed. Not looking out, no lookout points, just the claustrophobic sense that someone or something is coming, and quickly we could run, Manon says, and for the first time in our short relationship she sounds scared. I concentrate, trying to pick up the tin can phone line with Lily again. Lily, what? I think there are two people or something coming for us, or things. Left and right of this little shed. They are, I break off, as the two pearls are so close now that my breath starts to come short. The dots start to throb slightly, as if something within them is getting bolder. Does Manon still look like me? Yes. Send me out. Can you see them? Yes. What are they? Two guys. What are they going to do? The shed suddenly gets darker. I can't quite understand. Why? As it has no light source to begin with. I hear a rattling, a scraping sound, and I realize that the whole shed has been cloaked with something. Manon and I stay utterly still, completely still. I tug on the thin line that connects me and Lily. Lil, what's going on? Come on out, I hear a male voice say. The door's open. You know what I can do, Manon says. I can put volts through your skin. A laugh. Like to see you try. What do you want? Another pause. Another laugh. Just a word with you. What are you doing here, Maeve Chambers? says the other voice, and he says my name, like it's the name of the famous person. Back for more tea? Just sent her out. Go on, I whispered to Manon. Lily says it's safe. Manon steps out and immediately smothered with some kind of black tarp. She screams and I see arms wrapping around her, arms belting the tarp around her. She fights and claws against them, her mouth already struggling against the material. I remember the man in the rubbery suit on the bus and how it had failed against the almighty power of Lily. A leather strap secures the tarp around Manon like the straitjacket, and I cower against the back wall. Come on, Lil. This is getting scary. I hear the cold sound of zips and metal or something being placed either on or around Manon. I have no choice but to cower in the shed as Manon shrieks with a long string of French swearing words. I am so frightened that I can't tap into my gift. Can't think of anything other than how I don't want a rubber tarp belt around me. Someone steps into the shed and I am astonished by my own helplessness. Why was Lily the only one who was granted destructive powers? What good is telepathy at a time like this? The man is big, much bigger than me, his frame blocking out the moonlight. I grab at the only thing that resembles a weapon, the heavy rusted garden shovel that I know I can hardly lift over my head. The frayed wooden handle leaves splinters in my hands, but I hold it in front of me away. The end of the shovel pointed at him like a sword. He looks at me, looks at the shovel, and clearly finds something ridiculous about the two. Now, what? He says, his voice low and surprisingly rural. Do you think you are going to do with that? I jab at him, and he takes half a step backwards, easily missing the hit. Right, he says, that's enough messing around. There's a flash of something in the distance, a great white blinding light that catches the metal end of the shovel like a lightning rod. Time slows for a second, the way it did with Aaron in the cafe, where even though events are unfolding so quickly, I'm somehow able to take a brief second to analyze the situation like a photograph. Look for weaknesses. I see the man's face contorted in surprise, the volt of Lily's electricity lightening him like a flash. Photography. I'm able to see the volt touch the tip of the shovel, igniting it, sparking the old bull metal into the gleaming, spirited thing. I know now when my sensitivity is trying to tell me something, and right now it is trying to tell me this is your only chance. I jab at him, feeling the yield of his belly, the softness like sofa stuffing. He is instantly blown backward, and there's a dark twitching smell, the smell of hot iron being left on the shirt too long, the smell of clothes cindering or singeing. There's a ringing in my ears, and I can do nothing but hold the shovel and step blearily out of the shed. Once my ears recover, I hear a vague sound of splashing. I get a good look at the unconscious men, perhaps dead. I quickly unbuckle Manon, from the tarp come straitjacket that protected her from the blast. What happened? I asked, as if she's supposed to know under a black rubber sheet. And then I see her, Lily, naked and up to her waist in the beg, looking like a river sprite. We'd better go back. We better go quick, she says, her voice singing with barely suppressed joy. They won't be out for long. Where are your clothes? There, she says, pointing to the neat pile. The night is cold, but she doesn't so much as shiver. She's gleaming in the moonlight, sleek as an otter. I hand her the clothes, averting my eyes. We were never the sort of friends who were comfortable being undressed in front of each other. And now here she is, with both her titties out. Are they dead? Lily asks, stepping into her knickers and putting her jumper on over her shimmering wet frame. No, I say, and their lights started to throb a little, but they are going to come around in about a minute. Lily stuffs everything else under the arm. All right, she says, squeezing out some river water from her hair. Let's make a run for it. And the three of us run across the moonlit garden. Manon first, then Lily, then me, the weakest runner of the three. As I follow Lily's steps, I feel the static glitching of the grass underfoot. And that was chapter 32. Ooh, so it's really magic how they use the magic. I love it. It's really exciting. I hope you do too. We're going on to chapter 33 next. Take care. Bye-bye.